Hello and welcome to Firearm Freedom. This is going to be another First Impressions video. In today's First Impressions video, we are taking a look at the Streamlight TLR RM-2 with laser. As always, guys, down in the description below are links where you can support everything that I do here on the Firearm Freedom channel. And of course, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, comment down below the video. All of that stuff really does help defeat the YouTube algorithms that are constantly pushing down gun content here on the platform. Now, full disclosure, Streamlight did send me this light to take a look at free of charge. As always, Streamlight is a super cool company and they never ask me to do any sort of a positive review or anything like that. They don't give me money to do this review. They just simply want to send me the product, have me test it out, and tell you guys what I think of it. Now, I'm going to tell you guys first and foremost, I am not a huge fan of visible lasers that don't serve an additional purpose for a night vision role, which we are going to talk about in just a little bit. I personally don't see as much of a use for me to have just a visible laser. I find a lot of the time that in a low light setting, just having that white light is going to really help illuminate your iron sights or your sights on a pistol, and also illuminate an optic if you do have it, and a visible laser is just not really needed a lot of the time. However, with that being said, where a visible laser can really help out is if you are shooting with gas masks. You guys know I generally review a couple of MIRA gas masks here on the channel. There's going to be a few new videos dropping actually relatively soon with some MIRA products. And a lot of the time, if you can't get a proper or comfortable cheek weld with a gas mask, having a visible laser can really help out, because you're not going to have to bring that rifle all the way up to your cheek in order to get shots on target. So that is where I see a visible laser being really nice. And on top of that, I will admit that a visible laser on a long gun, like when I was running it on this Troy carbine here, is definitely a lot better than on a pistol in my experience. On a pistol, that laser is going to jump around with recoil quite a bit more, whereas on a relatively low recoiling rifle, like on an AR-15 variant in 5.56, it is going to stay pretty flat on target. Now, similar to other Streamlight products that are rifle mounted, this is going to come with the whole set of pressure pad attachments to put that pressure pad on a Picatinny rail, and it is also going to have a little bit of a newer insert here for the pressure pad. This is going to be a standard insert that you are generally going to see on a lot of Surefire pressure pads that are capable for lasers, and this is going to be the standard that you're going to see on something like a Holosun laser light illuminator, and this is going to be the standard insert that you're going to see on like D-balls and stuff like that. Any laser light IR illuminator device is going to have this, which is pretty cool that they are adapting that to their new lights. Now, this light, along with the other RM newer offerings that Streamlight's coming out with, like the RM-1, is going to have this really nice thumb depression switch here on the back. Your thumb just lays on that thing perfectly, and you guys know by now, if you've seen any of my other light videos, I generally like to run my rifle slash kind of pistol lights whenever I'm running like a TLR-1 or an X300 on a long gun. I put this light actually in front of my front sight. You're really able to do this easily with this new insert on the switch here, because it comes in at a 90-degree angle, so it makes it really easy to just jet that cord right off to the side if you're running the pressure pad. And even if you're not running the pressure pad, running this light in front of your front sight really allows you to get to that thumb depression switch with either hand really easily, and there's no issues at all there. The Picatinny rail adapter that's here on the light itself is a little bit further back from the bulb, so if you are setting it on the pick rail, it is going to push the light forward a little bit, which actually is nice The farthest forward point that you can get that light, the better, because it is going to give you a little bit less shadow from a suppressor or a barrel or whatever else you have in front of that light. I will comment as well on just kind of the overall aesthetic of the light. I'm not sure really what it is about the RM series, but I've heard others say this as well. They just aren't quite as aesthetically pleasing in my eyes. That's going to be a big personal preference, but when it's something like a TLR1 HL or something like that, it just has that kind of old school, a little bit bulky, but just attractive look to it, in my opinion. These have a much sleeker design, which is nice. It is a lot more low profile, but it has almost this kind of like rhino look to it with this little horn thing sticking out with the laser there, and it is a little bit long, and it does, again, just look a little bit odd on the end of the gun. But with that being said, there's a lot of people out there that are going to like the look of this light. I really don't care one way or another. I'm looking more so on the performance of the light itself. And guys, I have to say this thing performs really, really well. This thing comes in at 1,000 lumens and has 10,000 candela, and it's going to give you a runtime of about 1.5 hours. You're going to see with the little indicator there that it does take 2 batteries, and those are going to be 2 CR123 batteries. Similar to other newer Streamlight products, you are going to have a lockout feature on the bulb. So once it is fully locked into the on position, your light is going to come on, and you are also going to have the ability to have a light and a laser, or just a laser. And if you rotate it over just to a small detent, it is going to turn the light off completely. That is a pretty nice feature, and it's going to allow you to not burn out that battery if it's in a bag or something like that. I should also mention that when the light is plugged into the pressure pad, once the pressure pad is actually plugged into the light, the cool thing is you can utilize the pressure pad, or you can utilize the switch on the light itself, and you can use either or, and that is a very nice feature. If your pressure pad dies out on you when you're at the range, it really doesn't matter, because you have this additional switch here allowing you to still operate the light without issue. Now, a note on the pressure pad: normally Streamlight ships along these rubber retainers here on the pressure pad. I really don't mind these all too much, but before, you used to have issues with the cords kind of sticking out and everything like that. There are quite a few options out there that will replace these rubber tabs and allow you to really nicely capture the cords. But I did realize that Streamlight actually updated these tabs to have these additional slots cut on the bottom of the rubber. Those slots are actually set up for your cord, and I really enjoy that. Not having to use any zip ties all over the gun was super cool, and it is a really nice feature that keeps everything pretty rugged and not moving at all. Of course, some people are going to opt to not run the pressure pad and just run the light as it sits. Your adjustments for the laser itself are going to be right here on the right side of the light when it is on the top Picatinny rail, and you are going to have adjustments for the up or down portion and the right or left. Sighting in the laser itself is really not too difficult when you're sighting in a laser on a long gun. If you already have irons sighted in, or if you already have an optic sighted in, a lot of the time you can just simply adjust that laser to the irons or the optic, and you are going to get a general sight in so that you can be good to go at the range. Probably one of my favorite features, and why I wanted to get this RM2 for review, is their new way of switching between modes on this light. Streamlight had a few rifle light options with lasers, but you only had options to run just the light and the laser together, or with the standard tail cap you could choose between the two. Now, Streamlight has updated it with this very handy little switch on the side of the light. This option here on the bottom gives you a light and laser. The option in the middle gives you just a white light, and then the option at the top is just laser. And whatever that is on, it's going to stay there really nicely. Now, the main reason that I wanted to get this light and check it out was for this, because I wanted to see how good this was of a system. And I have to say, guys, they really knocked it out of the park with this little lever here. I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy that, because it finally gives you the option to kind of choose what you would like to run in conjunction with your pressure pad. Now, Streamlight, if you guys are watching this, I really think that this would benefit the company well, and I think a lot of people would be interested in this if you were able to take this very same technology that you have in this light and just simply add one more little feature there that arm can go to, which is an IR laser that is slaved with the visible laser and an IR illuminator. I think you guys would make a killing because you could probably put that out at a much more reasonable price point than a lot of other IR light laser options for rifles that are out there right now. Really, all they would have to do is beef out this top portion just a little bit and just add your IR laser there, again, slaved together, and then you could have, similar to their VIR-2 technology, an IR bulb inside your white light bulb, and you would be set. This switch on the side of the body of the light would be incredible in an IR role, and I think, again, they would make a killing. So Streamlight, if you're watching this, you guys really should get that on the drawing board because you could really adapt this technology to the night vision world. I think there's a lot more people that are looking for a more affordable but still very robust and durable option for an IR illuminator on a long gun. As far as the visible laser on a bright day, we did do some shooting with this, and I have to say I am not a huge fan of red visible lasers. If you're gonna choose a visible laser, in my experience, green just comes up a lot better during the daytime, especially in a bright day. I'm going to try to showcase this on camera, but it was a little bit difficult. You guys really have to pay attention to the back roll to see the red laser on the target, and it did come up a little bit better in person, but that thing is very hard to pick up on a bright sunny day on a bright target. When it is a little bit of a darker paper target, you're probably going to pick that up a little bit easier. But guys, pretty much like 15 yards was about the max. Further out than that, at like the 20-25 yard mark, it is very difficult to pick up that laser. Of course, as it gets a little bit darker throughout the day, this is going to come up no issues at all, and I believe it has about a 200 meter beam distance when it comes to the light itself, and the laser is probably going to reach out quite a bit further than that. You guys are going to be seeing some back roll at night in the testing area, which is about 90 feet that I have to test lights like this, and I'm sure you're going to see that the laser comes up a lot better in that scenario than in the daytime. But if you are using this for what we talked about earlier, which is gas mask shooting or something like that, and it is during the day, it is going to be a little bit harder to pick up that laser, and that's just something to be aware of. That is going to wrap up this first impressions video on the RM-2 with laser. I think Streamlight did a great job, as always, with this light. It runs really well, and I think they can really adapt this technology to other options in the future. Guys, if you have any questions about this light or anything else on the channel, please feel free to comment down below, and I absolutely will get back to you. While you're down there, head up to the description and check out the links to the Firearm Freedom Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram account. I have daily posts coming out over there that you guys are not going to want to miss. As always, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more great videos to come soon.